Hey there folks, Foggy here. Welcome to day 211 of my year of solo board gaming. Yeah, we're going to do ZONA one more time. And then I'll put it away. You won't see ZONA again for the remainder of the year, but I just want to knock out one more ZONA adventure just to give you some idea of the madness. I will try to make sure I get all the rules right this time. I do feel like I'm a little... With this game, I know that there are some rules I'm not really following that well. I also don't really care as much as I do with other games. Mostly because I don't think that's the point of this game. The point of this game is to experience it. And, you know, rules are just going to get in the way. Those pesky rules. I forget who it was who suggested it at some point. You know, it's your game. Play it the way that you want to play it. You know, we just sold you the pieces. And we told you how you should play it for it to be proper and balanced. But ultimately, you know, it's yours. So, neener, neener, neener. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to try to make sure I follow the rules. I think the biggest one I might be doing wrong is whether or not, like, once you fail an event here, do you have to then move back? In which case, I would just move back right in. I'm the only person here. And that's pretty much it. All right, so that's all shuffled. The rumors are all shuffled. We're going to go ahead and flip 5 of these over so that we are running a little bit quicker through this. We're not going to shuffle... If I shuffled, I don't think it would make any difference if I shuffled this. Simply because it's not identifiable what the different cards are. Like, I would challenge anybody to remember what's on each card. It is a neat setup, I will say that. I do like that setup. All right, the sarcophagus things that we've encountered so far, I believe are going to be at the bottom. That would be... All right, you know what? We'll I take that back. I think I might have shuffled this up really quickly because the ones on the bottom do not look familiar. So if I get one on the sarcophagus that looks familiar, I will probably just skip to the next one because I would like you to see 3 different endings of this. All right, so we're going to go ahead and set the misfit aside. We're going to keep the loner out. We're going to set the scientist aside since we've played both of them. And I did a 10 by 10 year one year and did 10 games of ZONA, one with each of these characters. Unfortunately, you're not going to have to watch that here. Alexa, pick a number between 1 and 8.
Here's a number between 1 and 8. It's 4.
All right. So the Mystic is one of our 2 characters. Alexa, pick a number between 1 and 7.
Here's a number between 1 and 7. It's 7.
The Prospector. All right, so these are our 2 characters that we're going to choose from. We'll put the other ones away. And let's take a look at the 2 characters and see which one we want. We have Mystic, read the signs. During a test, you may suffer 1 damage to change 1 die to a plus. You may use this ability more than once. So basically, pretty neat ability. Just has to sustain a lot of damage to use it. And then Prospector, beginner's luck. When forcing a test, instead of 1... to reroll 1 fatigue to roll one die, you may fatigue twice to reroll all dice. So that's interesting. I think we're going to go... It's a tough call. I like both these characters. I think we're going to go Mystic. Yeah, I think Mystic is what we're going to go with here. So we got to find the weird-looking character that doesn't have... Immediately find the Prospector. That's good. That's useful. Where's the Mystic here? The Mystic is holding a weird thing, so it's this one right here. So first of all, the Mystic is going to start in Misty Hill. In addition, we're going to have one anomaly, one green anomaly. Ooh, some of these are getting mixed up. That's not good. Let's just make sure these are all green anomalies here. Yep. Do a quick little sort of half shuffle. Choose a green anomaly to put at the junkyard. We're going to get the launcher. And then we need a yellow anomaly to put at the factory. So we'll just pick halfway through this. So kind of like right next to each other. It's an interesting setup because the character will always face these 2 anomalies starting in Misty Hill. And then the other character that we picked had a monster in the farms. We've got our feral dogs over here. And then we're going to have an anomaly over in the Red Forest, which... Ball of Lightning, you. Okay, they're going to start with 200 and 1 damage to start with. Oops. So let's put this here, and let's also just twist that around. We're not going to use this yet because we're not either good or evil. We're sort of halfway in between. We'll put this here. We'll put a little fatigue dial right on our board here. And then we have some cards that we have to grab. These, the Mystic cards, right off the top of the deck. Not sure why I picked up the whole thing. We've got a tchotchke, which is basically a way to allow for 2 negatives to be erased. Scavenger outfit, which is nice. And then we've actually got a couple artifacts, which is a little surprising. We've got a Flesh Whip, which is basically it is 1 damage for each artifact in your backpack, including this one. And then a Sparkler, make a Wisdom test, and if you are successful, you get to heal 1 damage. So the Sparkler is nice because there's no negative to it, which is good. The Flesh Whip, on the other hand, is another story altogether. All right, so none of these I want in the same location. So 1, 2, 3. Alexa, pick a number between 1 and 3.
Here's a number between 1 and 3. It's 2.
Okay, so the emissions is going over here to the government, where the government bunker was. All right, now we're going to move the botanical labs, 1 or 2. Alexa, pick a number between 1 and 2.
Here's a number between 1 and 2. It's 2.
Okay, so it's going to replace the underground bunker. This is seeming very, very basically just the opposite. I think I'm going to put the government over here then and the underground archive so it has some feeling of randomness from before. We're going to take some luck. All right, so the first lock over here is change good to evil. Suffer 6 damage. Discard 1 yellow monster and then lower your neutrality. Lower your morality by 1. Suffer 3 damage and suffer 3 fatigue. So, looks bad. We're going to have some stuff to deal with here. I was really hoping for a discard green artifact. Since I'm starting the game with 2 green artifacts, that felt to me like that would be really helpful. I will notice that the scavenger outfit is really helpful because it does allow you to ignore the impact effect of an artifact, which means you can use the Flesh Whip and not have to worry about taking 2 damage from using it. So we're going to put 2 items here, 2 items here, 2 items here, and 2 items here. All right, and I think that's pretty much everything that we have to get set up. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. I should probably shuffle these a little bit. Oh, I need to set out the marketplace. I will set out the marketplace if I need to. How about that? Because again, I don't really feel like I ever use the marketplace. And I'm a little tired of having to go through and just set the whole thing up and then break it down again and set it up again. It's there. If I go to a camp, then I'll reset it. But I think my first course of action is, this is going to be bold, I'm going straight in. I can take 3 damage. Oh, and I forgot, I start with 1 damage, so I need to put 1 damage on here. I'm going to start with 3 damage and 3 fatigue. So I go from 1 to 4. And I'm going straight in, and I've unlocked this. I get to take a look at these and pick 1. The welded container. Discard in a bunker to gain 1 yellow artifact. You may use a crowbar to use this card at any location. Or CNS stimulant, which basically gives you plus 1 eyeball or 1 light bulb. Yeah, we're taking the welded container. And then when we get to a bunker, we will use it. The bunkers are the research center, the village, and the roadhouse. I don't believe these secret areas count. So we're in here, and we're just going to go ahead and just draw an event. All right. A rusted valve breaks and the sluice gates open, flooding the underground compound with toxic sludge. The current takes you, so we have to do a fight of 3. And I've got a fight of 1. So as you can tell, I'm looking real good for this. On the plus side, I've rolled a plus, and during a test, I may suffer 1 damage. And I'm going to go ahead and put the damage on my scavenger outfit since it is yellow. And that will give me the 3 fights, so that is a success. The current takes you. You bump into a drowning soldier. You try to help him, but it's too late. He gives you the code to the archive door, and soon after breathes his last. The level of irradiated damp sludge slowly drops. The receding waste reveals dissolved bodies, bones burned with acid, and torn limbs. So now we have to do a brain test. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and use our tchotchke immediately. We're not even going to wait, because that's going to erase the 2 negatives there, and that gives me the 3 I need to succeed here. Despite the revolting sight, you manage to keep it together. You carefully walk between the dismembered bodies. You reach the underground archive through the sewage pipe. Suffer 2 damage. 1 damage can go on the scavenger outfit, and the other damage can go on me. You uncover here you find a map of the power plant with a clearly marked sarcophagus. You uncover a secret, which means that you get to take 1 item here, and then you basically relocate. So now we got the stimulant, and now we come back to Misty Hill. So really quickly, we already have one of our 2 secrets that we need. So this is going really quickly, which is great, because I would really love it to not take 18 hours. All right, so we're going to draw a card. Freezing Rain. Choose a green or yellow location. Put the rumor token there. In order to move from that location, the scavenger must spend 2 fatigue. So we're going to go ahead, and since we can choose the location, I think we'll go ahead and make it... We'll make it Chernobyl. Why not? And then we'll bring this down by 1. All right, so now what? Well, I'm now pretty damaged. I'm pretty messed up, so I do kind of want to... I think what I want to do is I want to head to the village. It's going to be a little difficult. I'm going to have to go through this... So I have 2 things that I could do. One is I can go through the factory and then deal with the monster there, or I can go into the proving grounds and then head to the roadhouse and basically deal with that. Now the problem is that I would really like to be able to do some healing. I'd like to be able to do a lot of other stuff. I don't want to get a weakness this early in the game. And I do want to get this underground bunker thing taken care of, because that's going to give me a yellow artifact, which is nice. All right, so I think looking at the other items, I feel like the problem is that I should have used the sparkler at some point. You know what? I can do that now. Basically, it's going to be a make a 3 test. And if you succeed, you heal 1 damage. Otherwise, you lose 1 damage. And I have succeeded, so I can heal 1 of my damages. I'm going to go ahead and put that on the sparkler. This will clear at the end of the round. So now that I've used that, I'm going to go ahead and head to the roadhouse. And then I get to do some camping, which basically means we do have to set up the market. All right. 1 semi-automatic pistol. Garroy formula. Repair kit. And the sniper rifle that I'm not going to be able to get. Tarpaulin gloves. Makeshift mask. Nuts and bolts. And chocolate. All right, so looking at what we've got, what we have does not use arms or mask. However, both the tarpaulin gloves and the makeshift mask are one-time use, so I don't really think they're that worth it. I think what I want to do is I want to go ahead and sell my stimulant for 300. Which means we'll get 3 of these. And you can basically do this as many times as you want. I'm going to spend 200 to go ahead and take care of the 2 damage on the scavenger outfit, because I really do not want to mess that up. That is a really useful thing. I get to discard the welded container, and we'll go ahead and get a yellow artifact. Magma. If you would fail a fight during a monster encounter, defeat the monster instead. You still take the damage, and that is a single-use item, which is really helpful. Holy cow, that's nice. All right. Anything else I can do? I could spend some more money and just basically heal. There's nothing else I want to sell, though, and there's nothing else I want to buy. So I kind of think I'm just at a stopping point. I'm going to go ahead and heal 1 more damage because I can, but that will leave me with 2 of these. I also get to lower my fatigue by 2 as part of the whole camping thing. All right, so that camping's done. We don't do an event card because we're not in a yellow or green zone or in a secret area. Red Sky. Advance the emission tracker marker by 0, 1, or 2. Blood red clouds coming from the power plant smokestacks. Ilya, Ilyushka, friend of mine, the fairy tale is over. Move your ass. We're just not going to move it, if you're going to give us that option. All right, so now what's up? What's up is I've got to get to one of these other locations. And I think my best bet is to try to... I need to fight a yellow monster, essentially, and there's no yellow monsters out. There's a ball of lightning, and there's a caltrop. I get to remove this, because we're at the end of the round. Since we're at the end of the round, I may as well go ahead and do a test. And it is successful. So I get to heal 1 more of these, and we'll go ahead and put it on the sparkler. So now I'm at 2 damage, which is good. May as well go fight at the factory. We're going into the factory. We're going to experience a caltrop. As a reward, instead of gaining an artifact, gain 1 junk item and 1 equipment item. So first we're going to have to test alertness. Now I've got a 3. This is a 2 alertness. And we are yes, we're successful. And then we need a light bulb of 4, and we've got a 3. And unfortunately, we're going to have to change one of these to a plus sign by taking some damage. So that's unfortunate. But that does mean that we are able to then succeed because we needed a 4. We then get 1 junk item and 1 equipment item. We'll take from the top of the deck here. Night vision goggles, which remarkably do not go on your head. There's no equipment item on it, so they just go in your backpack. And then Geiger counter. That will basically allow for a reroll. So these are good. These are non-perishable items. I will most likely want to sell these, but I'm definitely on board with them. And then get it discarded over to here. I could go to the quarry. I would have to pass through that shortcut, or I could just go to the launcher. I'll go to the launcher. All right, this is going to be a test of 3. Turbulence. If you have fewer than 4 items in your backpack, change the confrontation test difficulty to 1. Well, that's not the case. So it's a plus and square, so definitely succeed on the observation. And then light bulbs, it's going to be 3 on 3. And that's a success. So I'm going to get a green artifact, which I don't have any room for, unfortunately. It's a sparkler. All right, the sparkler is going to go into my backpack. Can't use it, but I'll just keep it there. That's lucky. I could move the flesh whip into my backpack and then just simply do another sparkler test to try to get rid of some damage. It's not a bad idea. But that's it for the turn. Now we're going to flip over this card. Junkyard is not listed. You visit your old friend's grave, wanting to pay your respects. To your horror, you find the grave dug out and empty. Suddenly, even the rustling of the leaves sounds sinister. Test your brain. It's successful. You're convinced the grave was dug up by some kind of animal. Draw 4 monster tokens. If you drew a lunatic, place it at your location. Discard the other tokens. So we're going to draw 4 of these. We've got a wolf pack. Lunatic! Got a lunatic. So now we got to deal with this guy. we'll just discard the rest over here. All right, so now we got to deal with this dude. Observation of 1. So yeah, successful even with the negative. And then we got to fight him. Now we've only got a fight of 1. We do have the Flesh Whip, which will allow us to get a +1 to fight. All right, well that's not good. So I could re-roll, but the most that's going to do is, yeah, I'll fatigue, get a re-roll. I would then have to use the Flesh Whip. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to take the Flesh Whip. Or not use the Flesh Whip. I'm going to have to use the Magma, which allows me to defeat a monster encounter. However, I do still take the damage, so I'm going to take 200 in damage. Or 2 more in damage. And without any real way to protect. All right, and now we draw a rumor card. The rumor card is Dangerous Trials. First the blockades, then pat downs. Now this. What are we going to do, comrade? God knows. God only knows. Which we feel like we've heard this one before. Choose one shortcut, and that will basically be now more dangerous. Type of damage does not change. So that's going to go there, and we also lower the emissions by 1. So far we haven't had much in terms of emissions. We've also been going through this very quick. We're going to go ahead and head to the village. We're going to go 1, 2 into the village, and we get to camp for the night. So we're going to do a couple things. First is we're going to... I was supposed to have drawn 3 junk items and then take 1. So that's my bad. We'll keep the NBC suit back here. I don't know if that's the correct location for it, but essentially we're just keeping it to sell it. All right. So now we're going to start selling some stuff. We're going to sell the NBC suit. We can sell that for 400. We'll go ahead and trade this in. So we got 500 there. We're going to go ahead and sell the Sparkler for 300. Which might seem a little frivolous, but let's face it, we've got 2 Sparklers. How many do we really need? We don't need any repair, fortunately. We can get rid of this because we're at the end of the round. Same with this. We'll go ahead and heal some damage. We need to heal 4 damage total. That's 800, so that's pretty much everything right there. So that's all our cash, but we are fully healed. All right, what are we going to do here? We need to figure out where else we can go, and that's sort of the problem right now, is that we don't have a really good place to go. Do we want to sell anything else? I think we're gonna go ahead and sell the Geiger counter, because the Geiger counter is nice, but it doesn't really help us out that much. We then get to lower our fatigue by 2. So now we're down to 1 again. And that's it. All right. So I think the only thing that we can do is to head towards Chernobyl. And the problem here is that we've sort of picked the wrong place to make this. We sort of picked the wrong one to make a shortcut, because I want to go this way, but now that's blocked off. However, we can't go from White Lake to Chernobyl directly. We still have to go through and go around the Red Forest, and we can't go from factory to Red Forest. So no matter what, I think what we have to do is we have to go to Quarry, then factory, chill. We have to go to factory to Red Forest, and then Red Forest to Emissions Observatory. And that's probably going to take us pretty much all of the emissions that are left, so we're going to need to make a stop somewhere in between. And looking at what we've got, what I really need to do is, and I would prefer instead to encounter a yellow monster. I could do that if I head straight over towards Pripyat and then head back, but that feels to me like that's too much of a pain in the ass. All right, so now that I've talked all that out, we are going to go... We're going to go 1, 2. We're going to draw an event card. We're in the junkyard. A man is furiously digging through the debris. When he turns to face you, you notice the madness lurking behind his cloudy eyes. Suddenly, a giant mutant leaps from beneath the sea of rust and rips out his throat, showering you with blood. Test smartness. Test your brains. We succeed. Holy cow. You instinctively shoot the mutant. Wounded and surprised, the beast flees. You proceed to take all the maniac's valuable possessions. Gain 1 junk item. That's lovely. We got modified detector, which go nicely with our night vision goggles. And then that's it for that. And then we draw a rumor. What nasty rumor awaits us this time? Premature emission. Comrade General Volodya, according to our calculation, the emission is expected to happen tomorrow at the earliest. You need to learn to respect ZONA, Babichkin. It isn't some equation you can solve. It's a primal element, a piece of chaos itself. Immediately resolve the emission. Fuck. The emission deals 3 damage regardless of the sector. Restart the emission track. Place new threat tokens and new items on the marketplace board as with a standard emission. That's irritating. Okay, so we're going to take 3 damage. We're going to do all of it onto the scavenger outfit except for 1. Because that is cheaper to heal. It's 100 to heal damage. On equipment, it is a lot harder to heal damage otherwise. We're then going to get all of these off the board. There's no more there's no more rumor. So that's something else to enjoy. And we're going to put a monster in the barracks. Which are where? There? Yeah. We're going to put a monster at the farms. We're going to put an anomaly at the quarry. We're going to put a anomaly at White Lake. We're going to put a monster at Chernobyl. Wrong spot. And an anomaly at Red Forest. Okay. Well, that was lovely. Okay. What do I want to do here? I don't have any way to change my neutrality to good. Otherwise, I would go for the Botanical Lab, and I really don't want to go for the Emissions Observatory, but I think that's where I'm going to end up. All right, we're going to go... We're going to go Factory, then Proving Grounds. Do we want to go to the Roadhouse first and just go ahead and deal with some damage? Nah. We'll risk it. All right, so yellow, Proving Grounds. A heavily armed militia is moving past through the area. By the distinct sunburn patterns on their helmets and heads, you deduce their brains have been fried by radiation. Time to scram. Roll your observation, and it's going to be 3 on 3. That is a success. That is a resounding success. You sneak past them. One of the brain-dead soldiers drops something. Gain 1 equipment item. It is a detector prototype. So we'll move this to the backpack. That's going to go to the bottom here. We'll do a rumor. I have to remember to keep using the sparkler, because that's usable once per round. I could have dealt some damage, or not healed some damage. That's going to go down 2. Time slip. Draw, but do not reveal the top 2 rumor cards, and then return them back in any order. So what we're going to get is Locked Bunker, and then Military Intervention. We'll go Military Intervention first. For now, however, we're going to head straight towards here. Red Forest. Silver Net. After defeating the silver nest, draw one monster token. If it is a red ranchula swarm, place it at your current location, otherwise discard it. Fun. First, we have to do a test of observation, 3 on 3. That is a success. Then we have to do a observation, light bulb one. That's going to be 3 on 2. That is a success. So we're going to get 2 green artifacts, which we do not have room for. We get Crumb and we get Clutch. And we're going to swap Clutch out for the Sparkler because the Clutch is just heal 1 damage. Don't bother with making a test. The impact is that you get 1 fatigue for every artifact in your backpack, including this one. However, we're not going to worry about that. We do want to try to go and sell some of this stuff because holy cow, we've got a lot of stuff all of a sudden. We'll go ahead and just use that right now. No ifs, ands, or buts. There we go. Healed 1 damage. So yeah, I don't want to go backwards, but oh my god, I've got so much stuff to now sell. So I guess we're going to go back to the proving ground and we're going to head to the roadhouse on this next turn. So first we have to draw. You encounter an unknown anomaly. For a moment, it accelerates your body's natural healing, but it seems to deplete pretty quickly. So we get 1 fatigue back, which unfortunately we're fully rested. You can either choose to this is so good. This is so good in so many ways. You can either explore the anomaly trying to find something useful. We'll test light bulb against light bulb, or you can choose this option only if you have an artifact. Throw an artifact into the anomaly to power it up and then heal 4 damage, and if you throw in a yellow one, you get to heal a weakness, which would be great if we had any concerns at all about having damage right now, which we don't. So I'm going to go ahead and test light bulb. And that's a successful test, which means we're going to gain a yellow artifact, which good. I'm running out of places where to put stuff. I think I actually have to throw some stuff out. Clot. We're going to get rid of the night vision goggles. And I think at this point, I forget if I can just keep it all in my backpack. Let's draw the rules manual. So what I'm finding is that I really should be more careful about those backpack slots. The backpack slot is essentially meant for small items. But I don't know what you do with items that you cannot hold. Yeah, there's no real indication in here, and maybe it's just I'm not looking in the right spot, but I'm reading through the entire items thing, and there's nothing here. There's nothing here about what you do with the stuff that is not. So essentially, if it's in, I've been using sort of this backpack as a place to put stuff that I don't have room for. But as far as I can tell, you just simply hold on to it. You don't necessarily discard it. You can discard it if you want to, but right now I just don't have any. I'm just going to keep these off to the side. feel free to yell at me in the comments if I got it wrong. That's something that should probably be clear because they do talk about dropping items, but they don't say that you have an item limit. Like, if you have an item limit, you'd think that there would be a little bit more obvious. I'm just looking through the character thing. There are 5 spaces on your backpack board that can hold your equipment card. Not all equipment needs to be held in the backpack. For more on equipment, see page 14. All right, yeah, that's something that should probably be a little. Hi. All right, good. Okay. Sorry, the connection between my computer and the camera just dropped off there a little bit. And of course, now needs to be reset. There we go. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, so as far as I know, I can still hold on to it. I'm going to sell it when I get back here. I don't think we did. Yeah, we still have to do the rumor. That's the other thing we have to do. Military intervention. Remove all monster tokens from one location. Choose a green or yellow location. Place 1 monster token there. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this. And we're going to put a green monster token on the frontier. Nice and out of the way. And now I'm debating whether or not just to head straight towards and get the damage. Because it's about to be another emissions, and I'd rather get to the emissions observatory first. All right, so we can heal, take away that. We're going to head straight towards Chernobyl. You're in a narrow street between dilapidated apartment buildings. When you hear a little boy singing. No child could survive in Zona. Unsure how to proceed, you draw your gun. We are unsuccessful. I will go ahead and force a test. There we go. Successful. Finally, you notice a tiny silhouette in one of the windows. When you wave, the figure throws something onto the street and disappears inside. Gain 1 junk item. It's an Explorer Maps. Ignore damage from shortcuts. And 300 rupees. All sorts of stuff now. All right. Fun, fun, fun. And now we're going to draw the other rumor card. Locked bunker. Choose 1 bunker, research station, village, or roadhouse. Place the rumor token there. You cannot enter, relocate, or move there in any way. If there are any scavengers at that location, they immediately move to an adjacent location of their choice. So we're going to lock the village. All right, so I'm going to take 6 damage, which is all of it. And immediately you use 1 clutch. And again, because of the scavenger outfit, I can ignore the impact of that, which is nice. And gain access. So now this is locked, unlocked. Let's take a look at here and see what I've got. Hazmat suit. Mutated embryos. We'll hold on to the mutated embryos. Maybe those will come in handy. I'm going to the hazmat suit might come in handy at some point. We'll see how it goes. All right, so now we're going to test emissions observatory. In the weak light of your flashlight, you read the bloody inscription on the dirty wall. Your beam of light falls upon a hunched woman still scribbling the mad passages. When you notice her, she cackles maniacally and runs into the darkness. Test brain. We're going to take 1 damage and make that a plus. All right. And then we're going to fatigue because I actually have to re-roll this too. Forgot about that. I probably should have done this first. There we go. Okay. You decide to fight your fear and find the insane woman. You find her. She started scribbling again. As you approach, she turns around and leaps at you. Test fight 3. I've got squat to help out. Doesn't matter. I succeed. Flying colors. Her blood spatters over the wall, covering some of her scrawlings. You barely manage to decipher them. It reveals the location of the power plant room where the heart of ZONA resides. You uncover a secret. Look at the secret items deck at the emissions observatory and take 1 card. The radiation here is deadly. We will go ahead and take this and we will immediately use it. So the scavenger outfit will go into our backpack, or we'll just simply discard it. I think we're good with discard. Well, no, it'll go into our backpack. Actually, what we can do is we can swap this out with the detector prototype. That way I can keep the damage on it and keep this legit. All right, so now I have to take 2 damage, and I'll do that to the hazmat suit, and then relocate to the entrance. All right, and let's draw our rumor card. Anomaly migration. Concerning anomalies, you can't be sure of anything, especially that they'll stay in one place. Move each anomaly token to any adjacent color of the same, adjacent space of the same color. So we'll move that there. We'll move that there. That's it. If there are fewer than 3, choose two different green or yellow locations and place 1 of the corresponding colors of each. So we'll do 1 more here. And we'll do 1 at the quarry. And then this comes down by 1. We are going to make a beeline for the roadhouse because we're going to sell a whole bunch of stuff. We're not going to quite make it, which means that we'll probably have to do some sort of like mad dash to the end, which we can still do, fortunately. And we'll also go ahead and deal with the clutch, which will heal 1 more damage. And this time... No, actually, we're going to keep the damage. We're not going to worry about the clutch because right now I cannot take that impact. Okay, we're at Proving Ground. For days, an old gaunt dog has been following you. You can either take him in, 1 damage. The dog accompanies you for a few days, and his company lifts your spirits. One evening, he brings you something. Roll 1 die. If you roll a plus, gain 1 yellow artifact. Or shoot the mutt and bring it in as a mutant dog trophy. We're going to keep the dog. We're going to take 1 damage. It's going to damage the hazmat suit. Not taking the damage elsewhere. Not getting a weakness just because of this. Which means now I can put my scavenger suit back on. And then we're going to roll a die. Unfortunately, it does not find me anything. So I'm glad I didn't kill the dog. Bit of a bummer. All right, this comes down. We're going to have to make a mad dash for the roadhouse to be able to get out of the way and then deal with that. So all of these are going to come off. I'm just going to put them in a pile over here, sort them out later. Frontier is going to get a monster. Wetlands is going to get an anomaly. Junkyard gets an anomaly. I forgot I can do camping there. Should have done the camping before I did all of this stuff. That's my fault. There's going to be an anomaly at the Proving Grounds. There's going to be a monster at the Misty Hill. No, I couldn't have because I wasn't at that. Don't mind me. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. And then finally, Chernobyl. It's going to get a monster. Okay. All right. Move one yellow token anywhere to a green, yellow, or red location. If there are scavengers at that location, choose one. The scavenger must blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we're just going to move this here. All right. All right, so we are now at, and we have to get rid of all these. And if I decide to do anything with the marketplace, I'll put out some new cards. Thank you for your understanding at this difficult time. All right, so first of all, we're going to spend 200 to heal the scavenger outfit. We're going to sell some stuff. We've got 700 for the detector prototype. And we're going to immediately turn around and use that and another 100 to heal 4 damage. We are skipping. We're going to rest for 2 rounds before we do the camping. So we should be on 3 instead of 5. Because we still have the 2 actions before we actually do the camping. Essentially what happened was we ended up in the bunker. We still have our 2 turns to take, and then we can do the camping. So this will allow us to rest twice. That will heal us twice. And then we can use our, because we're camping, our willpower drives that fatigue back down a little bit more. Unfortunately, the embryos has to be discarded at the research center. This is the wrong location for that. We're going to get rid of the document, the explorer's map, as nice as that is, which allows us to ignore damage at shortcuts. We're going to spend another 400 and be completely free of damage. We don't have a good weapon, so night vision goggles, modified detector, sparkler, crumb. Let's go ahead and do the crumb. We'll keep that. We'll keep everything else. We'll sell everything else. That's going to be a total of 1,200, and then we're just hold on to the embryos. That was good. That was brilliant. Cards went flying. All right, so 1,200. Again, I could probably shop for something. I don't want to though. I just kind of want to barrel out of there now. We're going to draw a rumor card. Psionic interference. The psionic readings are off the charts. I can see that. Katya, Yuri is talking to the dog. Choose a green or yellow location when a rumor. Place a 2. Yeah, we'll just put this here. And we're going to come down 1, which means we're on 1 here. All right, so I'm going to have to deal with the phlegm. Suffocating stench. During this encounter, you may only reroll dice showing triangles. And first, we're going to have to test success. And then we have to test light bulb, 3 on 3. And then we get to change this by taking 1 damage to a plus. And that is a success. So we're going to draw a yellow artifact. Bitter Rose. Basically, this is protection against red damage with no impact. This is a tough one to figure out where I want it. I guess we'll use it to replace the crumb, because usually the fatigue isn't as much of a problem. I guess we'll do that. Thank you, Phlegm, for giving us... Essentially, I hate to think what that just basically implied. Basically, we ran across a big nose and it snotted out a rose. Yay! All right, and then 2. So we're here at Pripyat. We can't do this yet because we have to take an action to actually do the location thing. Military blockade. Choose 1 border between adjacent locations. Neither can be in a red sector or be a secret location. Place the rumor taker there. To cross this border, the player must first discard 200. We're going to go ahead and put it between Proving Grounds and Red Forest. Relatively close to us. And then this is going to come down by 1. All right, 2 damage. We're going to apply both of those to the scavenger outfit and then encounter a monster. All right. We encounter the Black Hound. We need to... If you fail the eyeball test, the confrontation test difficulty is 3 instead of 2. We have succeeded in the eyeball test. So now we have to fight this thing for +2, for 2, and I've only got a fight of 1. Uh-oh. So I'm going to have to fatigue myself here. And re-roll this again. Still minus. So I fail. That means I'm going to use the magma to succeed. But I do still take the damage. So that's going to be 1 red and 1 blue. And I'm going to go ahead and use the clot in this case. Now, normally this would be 2 fatigue for each artifact in your backpack, including this one. But because of the scavenger outfit, ignore the impact. Yay. So that's going to come to me. And now I finally have the yellow token that I could have used to discard back there. If you've solved 2 secrets, relocate to the power plant after the encounter. All right. And before we can get into the sarcophagus, we have to do this little test here. And this is still the first move. Now we're on the second move. So now we're going to try to get into here. And this is going to be tough because we have to get 4, and we have 2 normally. And we don't have anything to really help with that. Yeah, I'm just that good. Okay, into the sarcophagus we go, and now time to deal with the sarcophagus. Something shimmers in the darkness, too quick for you to get a good look. Let me just make sure this is not one. Nope, okay. Something shimmers in the darkness, too quick for you to get a good look. Another glint in the dark, this time somewhere else. Now we have to get a +3 on this, or we have to get a 3 vision. And we normally have a 3 vision. Wow, that is a bad fail. Oh my god. Okay, so we failed completely. You don't notice anything. A few steps and you're abruptly stopped in your tracks. A thin but extremely strong web has entangled you, making it impossible to move. You smell smoke as your clothes begin to burn from contact with the web. 3 damage. You manage to escape the deadly trap before it gets too dangerous. You try to find another way. And then that is a fail. And technically, I cannot apply any of that to damage that I have, but I can use the clutch to heal 1 damage. And that is the sarcophagus. We're now going to read another round. Okay, radioactive wind. We're going to lower this by 1. Choose a green or yellow location. Place the rumor token there. Blah, blah, blah. Doesn't really matter. We're at the end of the round, so all of these can go away. All right, we're going to go ahead and use the clutch immediately to heal 1 damage. Let's go ahead and draw another one of these. We can rest first. I think. Maybe, I don't know. All right, sarcophagus. You walk down an empty corridor. There's a buzzing in your ears, and your head is filled with dark thoughts. It doesn't seem worth it. Oh, bloody hell. This is not good. This is not good because this actually relocates me to the power plant. And I don't see any way to improve it. I have to get basically... I can suffer 1 damage. You know what? I can fatigue myself for 1. And hopefully roll a plus. And if I roll a plus, then I'll use my ability to take 1 damage and change that triangle. Well, moot point. Okay, never mind. You're crestfallen. You lose all hope of ever reaching the sarcophagus. You take 1 damage. This is blue, so I can apply it to the clot. Relocate. It's only when you leave the compound do you realize that it was all an effect of a subtle psychoactive field. Go to the power plant. You reach a room with giant laboratory machines. Something's, and then the rest of it's not something I'm supposed to read. All right. I don't draw anything because I'm in a red zone. We are going to Hunting, this is going to come down by 1. Move 1 monster token anywhere to a green, yellow, or red location. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff related to that. We're not going to worry about that. We'll move that there. All right, so now we got to try to get back in. This is so irritating. I got to get +2 on this. Well, there's 1 plus. And I can change. I have to fatigue this. Also, these can come away. There we go. That is enough to get back in. We'll go ahead and use the clutch before we do the sarcophagus read. And then we'll also rest. All right, now we can do the sarcophagus read. You sneak into a control panel. Oh my freaking lord! This one does. I can't even. You sneak into a control room lined with computer monitors. Without warning, all of them come to life. Their light revealing the other people in the room. You recognize the symbols on their uniforms. Pioneers. They open fire. You run for cover, but not before one of the bullets penetrates your shoulder. You hide behind a metal cabinet. 3 damage. So 2 of the damage can go towards the bitter rose and the clot. But I am going to have to take 1 damage. The bullets ricochet from the walls, filling the room with dust. The shots and sounds of breaking glass cover your retreat. Strangely, the pioneers don't follow. So that is a 6 out of failure. And as far as I know, that means that I'm done with this adventure. It's weird. This one is basically, if you're a good person, you can stay and then try to kill them. Which is just weird to me. Like, that seems like a weird combination. Yeah, okay, so we basically get rid of this, and we're on to the next one. Which means that we are going to draw another card. We're almost out of cards. Radiation flow. Choose all scavengers on outdoor locations either suffer 1 damage or heal 1 damage. It's an interesting choice. We're not going to do the whole emissions thing. Basically, once we get to that last card there, we're done. I can heal for 1. I can use clutch again. And these are reset. An unbearably piercing shriek rips into your ears. The sound reverberates in your skull as you struggle to stay standing. This is a mental test, 3 on 2. And good lord, this thing is killing me here. I'm going to fatigue myself 1. There we go. Through a great amount of effort, you reach the metal door at the end of the corridor. Fatigue yourself by 1. The door is locked with a magnetic lock. You can either use your intelligence or use your fists. So we're going to have to use our intelligence. And this is going to be difficult because we need a 5 instead of 3. All right, well, I can change that, but I can't do much about these 2. You fail to get inside, and the pain hits you again. This time it's much stronger. You abandon the pain and leave this cursed place. So we're going to take 2 damage, 1 of which will hit the clot. And we'll just do this on the other one. This is insane. This is how many different tests have we gone through so far? Again, we're not going to worry about what's on the rumors card. Acid rain. Yeah, okay. We have to choose adjacent locations, but we don't have to worry about that. If we'd been told to actually leave the power plant, that would have been another thing altogether. That would have sucked. All right, so I think this is going to be the last one, and if we don't succeed on this, that is a fail. And that's okay, because we're at about the hour mark. So, okay. You find a room full of strange pods. Their glass lids are covered with frost, and you notice human shapes inside some of them. The humans appear to be hibernating. One of the pods is shining with a bright blue light. When you inspect it further, phantom apparitions attack. So we're going to have to Roll and try to get a 4 compared to 2 for our wisdom. We almost succeed. I'm going to have to re-roll this one and give myself a fatigue. That is a fail. There's not much else I can do. I'm going to go ahead and read through the rest of this as if I succeeded, because there's no more. This is it. Once that card goes, we're dead. So let's suppose that this was a plus. With the utmost effort, you manage to repel the psychoactive attack. I'm still going to be taking 1 damage. I can use the clot to absorb that damage. Those phantoms are a real threat, and then you can choose light bulbs or eyeballs, and honestly, either one is really not going to make a difference. I think part of the problem is that I did not bring anything with me that helps me affect a test that goes badly. That, however, does succeed. These things won't bother anyone ever again. After a while, everything goes silent. You safely find the exit from the room and pull the door handle in a cold sweat. Is it there? Turn this card upside down and read on. Drowning in the biomass filling the room, you just hope for a quick death. However, after a moment, your lungs adapt to breathing the warm liquid. A sawtooth umbilical cord reaches for you from the depths. It attaches itself to you with its spiky protrusions. You see the others in the periphery of your sight. The hive absorbs you, tendon after tendon, organ after organ. You win. The hive always wins. And that, my friends, is Zona. And that concludes 3 games. I'm glad that you stuck with me on this. Some of these endings are just absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to spoil all of them. I definitely feel like this game is okay gameplay with amazing story. I think that is the best way to say this. Hopefully you've seen that in these 3 games. I love the stories on the cards. I really just want to take the decks of cards. I just want to read through the cards. That's it. I don't want to bother playing with the game. Just going to read through the cards and have some fun. But thank you so much for joining me on this, and I will see you tomorrow, and I promise it will not be Zona.